Say after me. Negative energy, I ban thee.
Negative energy, I ban thee.
Hello YouTube, so we meet again. Last time we spoke, I said that I wanted to cast out this negative energy that invaded my channel when I decided to get invested in 90 Day Fiancé. Oh.
What's that?
So this is something that I will need because I bought a ticket to go to Dubai.
I said that I would speak to you about a show I actually like. So here we go. Do you hear the neighbor's dog? Now, this is a story all about how Prince Wille's life got turned upside down. I'm sure that a lot of people also made that Fresh Prince joke. I mean, it's perfect for this show. This guy, his name is Will. Well, the Swedish version of Will. And he got into one little fight and his mom got scared and then sent him away.
Vad är det här för något?
Det är ett förlåttal till nationen.
Ärligt?
Ja, ärligt.
Nej.
Drottningen hälsar att det är någonting som ni måste adressera själv.
Därför har jag tillsammans med mina föräldrar beslutat att omgående börja på Hillerska riksinternat.
So, Prince Wilhelm is the Prince of Sweden. He wanted to go to a regular school with all of the other regular kids and have regular friends and, you know, just be a regular teenager and all of that stuff. But then he got into a fight and it was filmed and uploaded on the internet, went viral.
Så jag fattar att du vill känna dig som alla andra, gå i vanligt gymnasium, träffa vanliga tjejer och vanliga fester. Men det är viktigt. Men problemet är att vanligt folk kommer aldrig se dig som en dum. Men det här är ju bland det lika.
And his mom was like, we can't have that. We can't have people recording these compromising videos of you and posting them on the internet. Let me take you to this boarding school with a bunch of rich people with other royalty where something like that will never happen to you.
Ers Majestät, jag kan inte med ord beskriva hur ledsna vi är att något sånt här kunna hända på skolan. Men vi kommer att gå ut och fördöma.
Ni går inte ut med någonting för att visa er till.
This is not a punishment. It's for your protection.
Ska inte jag få bestämma hur fan jag vill leva? Jag vill leva ett vanligt liv!
Om inte vi kan skydda dig från såna här situationer så får vi se till att situationerna inte uppstår. Hillerska kommer hjälpa dig att komma in i rutiner och få rätt umgänge. Sluta!
She cares so much about protecting little Wilhelm.
Ingen vinner på att det här blir offentligt. Nu har vi sagt att det inte är du. Och då håller vi den linjen.
Jag borde inte straffas! Han har ju för fan förstört mitt liv! Hur fan kan du skydda honom?
Jag skyddar dig.
Prince initially protests this, but then he reads off the script exactly the way he was supposed to. And then he is sent to boarding school.
Jag kommer inte palla 3 år här, Erik. Gör som ettorna gör och som 3orna säger så lär du dig snabbt. Ja, som August säger alltså. Han är så jävla störig. August är familj. Du kan lita på August, han är som en bror. Vem fan pallar leva så här? 3 fucking år alltså!
Not very happy about that, especially since he has to spend time with his awful second cousin.
Orkar inte med August på riktigt. Är han alltid så här, eller? Jo, men han har alltid varit så där lite intensiv. Men du får överse. Vadå intensiv? Han är fan hysterisk. Det är saker som ingen annan bryr sig om heller.
At first I thought that cousin August was going to be like the Swedish version of Draco Malfoy.
Min familj är väldigt viktig för den här skolan. Min prestation är väldigt viktig för den här skolan. Om det kommer fram hur ovillig du har varit att samarbeta.
August, vänta lite nu. Jag sa till dig att jag ställer gärna upp och gör en utredning med det. Men den tar flera veckor, det måste du förstå. Det är en lång process, det kommer aldrig undan, förstår du.
But later on in the show I discovered that he's actually the Swedish version of Nico.
Barnpornografi? Det är ju helt tullete.
Sitter rätten.
So anyway, August is a complete dick. He's really annoying and Wilhelm is like, I cannot handle hanging out with this guy. But he is a good-looking guy and he has a tragic backstory that I'm sure we're going to hear more about in season 2. So maybe that will be his ticket to redemption, his tragic backstory.
visste att han var död, men inte att han hade tagit livet av sig.
Anyway, Wilhelm's not very impressed with his new situation. There are people who are trying to kiss his ass just because he's the prince, and he doesn't like that.
Alltså, det är skittråkigt för det mesta. Ja, det är verkligen skittråkigt. Jag tyckte det var ganska soft. Ja, jag håller med, det är rätt skönt. Ja, sjukt nice att bara chilla. Jag drev. Jag vet vi också. Ni får ha en egen åsikt, det är lugnt.
August, of course, loves that. That's his favorite thing to do. Just like throw his money and his status around so that people will worship him. But Prince Wilhelm's not very interested in that. He wants more authentic interactions with people. So even though he is at the boarding school, he's not in a good mood about having to switch schools away from all of his friends. He sees this guy in the choir and thinks, you know what, this guy is pretty cute. And he also speaks his mind in class. And when Wilhelm says that he likes what he had to say, he gets challenged. Well, if you liked what I had to say, why didn't you say anything? Especially since Simon said what he had to say in a hostile environment and he still stuck to his guns. That's bravery. That's courage. And he would have liked to have seen a little bit of that courage in Wilhelm.
Jag tyckte det var bra det du sa där. Simon. Det var bra sagt. Okej. Varför sa du inte då? För att jag inte... Jag ska inte yttra mig politiskt.
So there is a very clear division between haves and have-nots in this show.
Just när han kom fram till oss första veckan och bara, tjena, spirat. Som att vi ska ha något gemensamt, va? Usch.
I just think that that's very interesting that it's set in Sweden and it's dealing with all of these issues, because here in America we talk about Sweden like the socialist paradise, you know?
Sossa! Simon. Simon heter jag. Men jag frågade om det var lärorikt. Ja, vad gör du? Sosse-safarit.
Wilhelm is a have. He has everything, doesn't want it.
Jag är så jävla dålig på namn. Jag kallade bergets kung för Rudolf. Alltså det här är Rudolf. Det är därför av mig. Jag kan allas namn. Det är bara fråga. Ska vi byta? Kanske inte.
August pretends to have everything but doesn't actually have it.
2 terminer, det måste du kunna betala av. Jag tror du kunde lösa det här.
Jag har inte de resurserna. Du får slanta av. Det finns saker på Årnäs som är mark, konst. Du kan betala din terminsavgift flera gånger om.
Dör hade du.
And that makes him very angry. It makes him very bitter and jealous.
Men Wilhelm har allt. Man spottar på det bara. Jag har försökt att hjälpa honom gång på gång, men... Alltså, Erik tog ändå sin roll på allvar. Wille, han skiter ju allting.
Meanwhile, our friend Simon is definitely a have-not.
Den här frågan är jättekonstig. Varför säger man skatteflykt och bidragsfusk? Det är okej när rika fuskar, men när fattiga gör det så är det fett skevt. Det heter ju inte ens bidrag för de rika, det heter ju avdrag. Men som din farsa, vet du hur mycket han får i EU-bidrag varje år?
Vad fan jobbar din pappa med då?
Inte det språket, tack.
He does not live at the boarding school with everybody else. He lives with his single mom. He is estranged from his dad because his dad is struggling with addiction issues.
Jag skulle behöva få hjälp med en grej.
Okej.
Jag vet att du köper ut. Alla vet. Och jag skulle behöva för en fest.
But August makes a deal with Simon to go get some booze for a party. He can go to his dad to sell him some booze, and in exchange he would be invited to Prince Wilhelm's party. And the episode ends with them making very intense eye contact while they're breathing heavily. I'm kind of curious about your opinion on this. What do you guys think of Simon's dad?
Men säg inte till någon att jag har varit här. Det är nog bäst så.
Okej. Jag fattar.
I personally didn't think that he was that bad. From what I understand from what Sara said, Simon's sister, it seems like his biggest issue is just that he's an addict. And I don't mean to say just as if it's not a big deal. I understand what it's like to have a parent who struggles with addiction. And I understand as a kid thinking that, oh, my parent chose alcohol over me. I understand that.
Visste inte att jag skulle få fin besök. Sätt dig. Ja, hur är läget då? Det är bra. Hur är det med mamma och Sara? Det är bra. Vill du ha kaffe?
Hur är det med ryggen?
Jo, men det är bättre. Jag har fått en ny medicin.
When we're first introduced to him, he asks his dad about his back, which made me think, oh, did he become addicted because he had a legitimate injury and then he needed to get medication for his back and then he got addicted to painkillers? Because that's really common and it's very sad. It's very unfortunate. I don't know. I don't feel like people are totally to blame in that situation. Though I do believe too that people have agency and they should try to get the help that they need.
Och jag skulle behöva en fest. Alltså ring inte till mig. Men jag dricker inte.
When Simon asks about the booze, you can see that his face kind of falls and he looks shamed, he looks worried or something. But then he looks happier when Simon explains, no, it's not for me, I don't drink, it's for a party. I thought that was very good acting on the dad's part for one. It shows a complicated relationship between those two. He understands firsthand how hard addiction is. So when he thinks that his son might be drinking or later when he thinks that his son might be taking drugs, even though he was very rough with him in this scene, I don't condone that. I'm just saying that I understand that, yes, even though he is somebody who is still drinking, he doesn't want that for his kids. He knows that that's bad. He knows that that's not a good road to go down. And so he doesn't want to encourage that.
Jag minns hur det var när man skulle impa på någon tjej.
Jag är gay, pappa.
Ja, förlåt. Snygg kille då.
But he does supply the alcohol for the party because he wants to help his son. And I felt like he was just really struggling with being estranged from his family. He wants to reconnect with his family and he wants Simon to love him and to know that he's there for him. And so he said, oh yeah, you can count on your dad. I thought that that was kind of sweet, you know? Like, I know that parents aren't supposed to give alcohol to minors. It's just, that was his own way of showing that he loves his son.
Vad fan, det är klart farsan fixar festen. Va?
If there's going to be a redemption arc in season 2, much rather it for this guy than this guy.
August, nej, inte nu, okej? Stanna, jag pratar med dig. Du är skyldig mig. Du är fan skyldig mig, jag fixar allt för dig då. Fan, du måste åtminstone säga när. Hallå? Okej?
August had originally asked Simon if he knew somebody who could sell them alcohol, meaning that he would be the one responsible for paying for the alcohol. Instead of paying, he said, oh, well, if you can give me ADHD medication, I'll double what I owe you. So then Simon steals from his dad the ADHD medication, gives that to August, and August is like, what payment? Huh?
Alltså det är småpengar för honom. Han gör det bara för att jävlas.
There's some reinforcements that come in the form of Rosh and Ayub, and Simon really just...
Vad fuck är det problem? Vad fan gör du? Släpp mig! Tycker det är kul att fucka sådana som mig? Skjut i huvudet! Jag är så jävla trött på dig! Sluta Simon!
And that is when he reveals that he is broke as a joke.
Om jag hade haft det så hade jag gett det till dig. Jag har inga pengar. Min familjebank, jag har inget kvar.
Except he's not actually broke. Like, he owns land, he has assets. But no, if he sells things like a peasant, then he'll have to let go of some of his status.
OPULENCE. Opulence. You own everything.
He has to maintain the illusion that he owns everything.
Jag tror väl det menar då.
Får du åka på pizzerian i Bjärsta?
Nej, jag flyger ut det. Verbier. Samartin de Barbie. 3 Michelin-stjärnor. Ska älska det. Tro mig.
What else is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to rely on his personality in order to get friends? Hell no! No, he can't do that. The way you get a girlfriend is by offering to throw as much money at her as possible until she agrees to go out with you. That's modern day romance, right, Frederica or Stella? I don't remember which one is Stella and which one is Frederica.
Jag tycker det är romantiskt. Romantiskt? Ja, om man vill vara med någon som tror att han äger en. Så okej att han har varit värsta player, men det kan liksom förändras av kärlek.
Anyway, going back to Rosh and Ayub, one of them said...
Jag vet inte vad de gör med dig på den här skolan, Simon. Men du är fan inte bättre än han.
Oh, no. August doesn't need more money in order to survive. He has all of his needs met. It's really about being able to flaunt. That's why he is running out of money.
Jag skiter i. Du ska betala mig.
There's a difference between like a poor person who actually wants to be paid back, where the money means a lot more to him and he's not trying to use money in order to be a manipulative asshole. This is just no. By no stretch of the imagination are these two at all the same.
Jag betalar för privatlektioner. Inför prov. Va? 37,8. De satt med magistern på Skogsbacken i helgen.
Jag sitter ju med lärarna och Alexis.
Ja, men han är inte lika hård på någon som betalar för sig.
He's just trying to make it work in an environment that was not set up for somebody like him. He wants to get good grades, and his friends got a little bit weird when he said that.
Men måste du ha höga betyg? Men ja, det är väl klart man vill ha bra betyg om man vill komma någon vart, tänker jag. Var ska du? Ja, alltså, jag gillar Bjärsta, men alltså, man vill inte bo här för alltid, liksom. Vadå?
Of course you should want good grades. If you're gonna go to school, you might as well strive to get the best grades possible. That's not weird. What the hell? Please comment, what is your opinion on what happened in this scene? Simon responds to August not being able to pay him by raiding his dad's medicine cabinet when he finds him drunk and then telling August to sell it. And I was like, wait. He has to pay you back for the alcohol, the drugs that he took, and now you're giving him a giant bag of drugs. He should also pay you for the giant bag of drugs. It looks like he left some pills behind. Maybe that was for his dad's bag. I don't know what that was for. When we see him take the drugs, I didn't see him take off any of those labels. Do those prescription bottles still have his dad's name? Because later when the drugs get caught with Alexander, then wouldn't they be able to trace that back to Simon's dad? We are getting a little bit too far ahead of ourselves. Simon is Wilhelm's love interest. You know who does not approve of this relationship? August.
Du ska vara jävligt försiktig med dem du hänger med.
Jävlar.
Speciellt om de utnyttjar dig för lite views. Du vet ju själv hur det gick förra gången.
Yeah, gee, we won't want somebody using our friend for views, right? Posting compromising videos of him on the internet without his consent. We cannot have that. That would not be very good, would it? Right? Anyway, yeah, so Wilhelm takes an interest pretty fast, looks him up on Instagram, follows him on Instagram pretty fast, sits next to him at class, studies with him, and he skipped practice in order to hang out with him and his friends. So, I mean, you know, true love. I thought that this scene was really cute. Eats meals with him, runs away with him at a party. And then when they go to another party, they do that tentative hand-holding thing. I don't know what to call it, but I've seen it in other gay shows too, where they'll just like put their hands next to each other and then their pinky will cross over and then some of their other fingers and then they're just full on holding hands. And then they have their first kiss. I have to say, I think it was really brave of our friend here to go in for a second kiss after getting this type of reaction. I found it very relatable that he decided to just walk away as soon as Wilhelm said, I can tell I'm being rejected. I'm not going to protest. I'm not going to argue. I'm not even going to wait around and hear the rest of this rejection. Sounds like he's not interested. Let's just forget about that. Just get the fuck out of here.
Stopp, vänta. Jag är inte...
Might be a little bit conflicted about his identity, but he also like daydreams about him a lot and checks on his Instagram when he's wearing his damn underwear. So there's a lot of push-pull with this couple.
Jag tänker att vi kanske ska glömma det. För att jag sa ju ändå att jag liksom... Att jag inte är sån.
Looks like things are going well, but then Wilhelm's like, oh, well, I actually said that I'm not, remember? And I was like, yeah, you said that you're not, and then you made out with him. But again, Simon didn't really protest, like, okay, if you want to reject me, I'm just gonna get up and walk away then.
Jag vill fortfarande vara kompisar liksom. Ja.
Things are pretty chilly with them until, again, Wilhelm takes that back.
Vad hände med att vi skulle glömma allt? Jag tar tillbaka det.
And then they're back on once again. I do really like that in this relationship, both characters take initiative at different times. Even though Wilhelm rejected Simon, clearly he did not want to. He cannot stop thinking about him and he wants more. He sees that one of his classmates has a girl over. And interestingly enough, when he sees that through the window, he doesn't start taking out his phone, laughing, deciding to film some revenge porn so that he could just store that on his phone, look over it from time to time and release it as soon as this guy offends him in some way, shape, or form. No, he sees that and he's like, you know what, I think I would like to have some sex too.
Det kommer typ vara helt tomt här då. Om jag skulle stanna, skulle du kunna göra mig sällskap?
So things are back on between these two. They're smiling. They're making eye contact. Speaking of eye contact, let's talk about Felice.
Visst är det en pappa Ehrenkronas dotter? Precis. Felice Ehrenkrona. Jag ska gifta mig med. Fan, du har det slutat lägga runt, eller? Det gäller ju att lägga en stadig grund innan man får för mycket självförtroende.
Disgusting. I hate that guy.
Why are you even so obsessed with him? You don't need him. You're from like the richest family
För att han
ever.
är kunglig.
Okay, but if it's about being royal, why don't you just hook up with August? He's obviously into you. And they're like cousins, right?
Nej, de är sysslingar då.
Felice has a crush on Wilhelm, and she explains to Madison, who speaks English. Is Madison American, by the way? Anyway, Madison does not know anything about this royal prince business, and I found that very helpful because by explaining what was going on to Madison, Felice explains the royal family to us, the viewers, who might not understand the whole family dynamic.
Ja, och för andra så tillhör August inte kungahuset på samma sätt som Wilhelm. Även om han tekniskt sett tillhör kungafamiljen.
I don't get it.
Ja, men Augusts barn blir liksom inte prinsar och prinsessor.
Felice has a crush on Wilhelm and she thinks that things are going well because she's noticed some eye contact.
Bra vibes från honom. Mm. Men hur då? Jo, men du vet, blickar och sånt.
Ja, jo, jag vet. Jag vet verkligen. Och jag ser ju att han likar ju allt som du postar.
Ja.
Looking back, I did also notice that eye contact, especially in this scene.
Ändå fint i dig. Att du tar hand om skolans freaks på det sättet.
Fuck you, August.
Yeah, fuck you, August. But as we can see...
Vänta, ni måste komma på skräckfilmskvällen. På fredag. I herrgården. Ja, båda två alltså. Okej.
There was some eye contact because he was happy about being able to spend time with his boy. Meanwhile, Felice thought, oh, he's happy because he likes me. Things might be going my way, except they don't. And he rejects her and she runs off to August. Ugh. I'm not going to get a chance to talk much about Madison in this video, but I want to say that I appreciate her, okay?
Vi pratar om hans bror.
Erik var som en bror för mig också. Det vet du. Ditt fokus borde vara på att trösta mig så att jag kan trösta honom. Ge mig det. Ge mig det.
Dump him.
Amen, amen, amen. But then, just as they are about to leave, Wilhelm gets terrible news that his older brother has died. So we saw a little bit of Wilhelm's older brother, seemed pretty cool. They were very close.
På riktigt, jag måste gå där.
But what's important for this story is that he was prince material. He was going to become the next king of Sweden, and it seems like a job that would be good for him. But now that Prince Eric got into a car crash and died, not only does our friend not have a brother to lean on anymore, it means that Prince Wilhelm will be the next king of Sweden.
Ända sedan jag var nyfödd så visste jag att jag skulle ärva kronan av pappa. Men jag hade ju tid att förbereda mig. Det hade ju Erik också. Men nu är det du och dina framtida barn som kommer att efterträda mig.
Even more pressure is going to be put on him. Prince Eric's body isn't even cold yet, and the queen is like, you really have to make sure you don't fuck up. Please don't embarrass us. You're going to be compared to your brother who's dead. You're still mourning the death of. Poor guy, right? So after that, Wilhelm decides that he maybe doesn't want to be in a relationship right now.
Jag hade tänkt svara, men det är lugnt. Jag förstår. Vill att du raderar våra sms? Va? Jag kan inte hålla på med det här längre.
He freezes out Simon once again. But later in the episode, when August takes him to a party and gets him high with the drugs that Simon had supplied from his dad, he realizes that this is not really what he wants. He really admires this authentic quality that he finds in Simon. And I really like this scene, by the way. I really like the music in this show. I love this high love confession. Brilliant. The part where they're trying to figure out how to go home and Wilhelm just jumps on Simon and he's like, oh, just get off of me. So the next morning, these two, they cuddle together. They express their mutual attraction, like for each other.
Ja, det gör jag. Jag tycker om det också.
And then August sees this through the window and films it. I cannot stress this enough. One, they're both underage. They're both under the age of 18. So that is CP. Also, Wilhelm just lost his brother 5 minutes ago. He's still mourning his brother's death.
Allt är liksom upp och ner nu. Jag vet inte hur jag ska bete mig. Jag vet inte hur jag ska känna. Liksom. Jag ska inte fungera som människa just nu. För att min bror är liksom död. Men här är jag och krökar liksom.
He was just talking about that with August, about how he would like to be able to turn to his brother in a hard time like this, but he can't because he's fucking dead. And it's so sad because his brother's actually cut out for this stuff.
Om du anpassar dig blir ditt liv helt enkelt lite enklare.
He knows how to keep up appearances. He understands how important that is. It comes natural to him, or it doesn't come natural to Wilhelm. August later explains that he did what he did because Wilhelm has everything, whereas poor August has nothing.
Varför gjorde du det?
Jag fattar inte heller. Det hände bra.
Jag trodde du och Wilhelm var kompisar.
Ja. Jo.
Ja, så varför?
Men Wilhelm har allt. Han spottar på det bara.
He's going to be the next king of Sweden because his brother died. Of course he would spit on it. His brother just died. In order to be the next king of Sweden, his dad and mom would have to die. Like that's a really big deal. Of course he wouldn't be super excited about that. I also want to point out that this was premeditated. This can't be chalked up as like a oopsie. I tripped and fell and accidentally made this mistake because there were several steps taken in making this mistake. One in watching them through the damn window, taking out his phone, filming it, keeping that on his phone, looking it over for the next episode, and then as soon as Wilhelm does something to offend him, that's when he decides to upload it and try to embarrass him on the internet. I'm seriously gonna be so angry if this guy gets no jail time, no real punishment, but then he gets a redemption arc because, I don't know, he helped these two get back together. This is wrong on so many levels besides, oh, well, it added drama for this relationship and made them break up. Like, that's not the biggest issue to come from this. My crown keeps threatening to fall off my damn head. But anyway, August later asks Wilhelm, oh yeah, what'd you do after the party? You kind of disappeared. And then Wilhelm says, I have no idea what happened. I completely blacked out. Somehow I woke up in my own bed. Don't know how that happened. And bitch, when I heard that, I was worried. I was like, oh my goodness. They mentioned something about possibly getting drug tested by the school. And I was like, oh my God, if there's one, drugs in Wilhelm's system and he's trying to like pass off blame, what if August tries to argue that, oh, well, Wilhelm actually blacked out after being given those drugs that were supplied by Simon, and then Simon took advantage of him while he was drugged. I was really worried about that.
Det är kallt vatten idag. Ni vet.
So, for a brief moment of time, Simon and Wilhelm have a very short-lived honeymoon period where they're meeting up in secret. And they play video games together.
Yeah.
Sätter du på det här? Så de där ute inte ska höra.
Also, I forgot to mention too that Wilhelm has bodyguards because he's the new crown prince.
Snälla! Kan bara få en sekund bara för mig själv, snälla.
Ja, jag är hemskt ledsen.
Unfortunately, he does not have a bodyguard standing right outside his window. I think that they should have thought about that before, that he could escape through his damn window. If they had, maybe the situation wouldn't have happened. But anyway, yeah. It's the honeymoon period. They play video games. They're all very lovey-dovey, very happy together. Until we find out that Alexander has been caught. And August wants to blame Simon and get his ass expelled.
Jag menar, han är extern. Det var han som tog in drogerna från början, så det är rimligt. Eller? Slut. Nej. Konstigt. Han är världens psykförmåga.
Wilhelm tells Simon about this. They have an argument, and then Simon reveals that August is broke.
Jag tycker att vi lägger det på Alexander. Vi säger att det var han som försökte sälja på oss droger, men vi sa nej. Det kommer inte spela någon roll vad Alexander säger då. Vi blir 8 mot 1. Och det var han som åkte fast med drogerna.
Varför inte Simon?
Därför att det här är enklare.
To be honest, when Wilhelm came up with the idea of, oh, let's just get Alexander expelled instead, I didn't know who the hell Alexander was. I didn't know all of these like secondary characters' names. So I was like, so was Alexander one of August's asshole friends? I felt no guilt about that until I watched it the second time around, trying to pay attention to which character was Alexander. And then I felt differently about this whole thing.
Alexander kommer klara sig. Han hamnar på någon skola i Schweiz.
Nu råkar det vara så att du tar inte besluten här. Hur länge har du varit medlem? Är det en vecka?
Och hur länge till är du medlem då?
I do wish, though, that instead of Alexander getting expelled, they could have gotten August expelled.
Men studenten...
Nej, August. Jag har försökt. Men om ni inte kan betala kan inte ens jag göra något. Jag är ledsen. Jag lovar, det finns bra kommunala skolor. Vänta lite, August.
It would have worked out for him because he can't pay his school fees anyway. So instead of having to leave school because he was too broke to pay, that would be super embarrassing for him. It might be less embarrassing to just own up to having a bunch of drugs on him. It might have been better for him to take the fall, but he's a selfish asshole who wouldn't have considered something like that. I do want to say though about Wilhelm.
Det är så jävla lågt att langa. Jag är ingen langare. Skojar du med mig?
If you drink and you're underage and you take drugs illegally, I don't think that you should judge people who supply those things to you. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, when Wilhelm comes up with the idea that, oh, we should just get Alexander expelled, August keeps pushing to get Simon expelled because he's a dick. I hate him. He knows what's going on between them. And again, he knows that Wilhelm just lost his brother. So if he's in a relationship that makes him happy, it's time to support that.
Du kan ju inte betala terminsavgiften. Oavsett vad så kommer du inte vara kvar efter jul.
Det handlar om att mina tillgångar är låsta.
Nej. Det handlar om att du inte vill sälja av Ornäs.
Wilhelm fires back that, oh, well, you're broke. I'm not. I can't snap with these gloves. And August doesn't appreciate that, so he leaks a sex tape. August appeared to only feel remorse first when he was caught, and then second when minutes after he released the sex tape, he got a phone call. Oh, by the way, you can stay at school now. We paid for your tuition. Thanks to Wilhelm.
Jag skulle inte ha snackat om din ekonomi framför alla. Jag vet att du bara vill hjälpa mig. Jag vet att jag svek dig. Det är lugnt. Tack. Tack för hjälpen förresten med terminsavgiften.
I just want to say, later on, Wilhelm apologizes for this and he feels bad and stuff, but these two guys are like oil and water. Eventually, they were going to clash on something else. If not this, I guarantee you it would have been something else that would have pushed August over the edge and made him want to release this sex tape. So it just so happens that this was a thing that pushed August over the edge. Sara saw. I have some things to say about Miss Sara.
Jag hjälper dig med sökandet. Som erkänns så berättar du ingenting. Okej.
I have a very strong feeling that this is all going to blow up for Sara in season 2, and I'm not going to feel bad for her at all whatsoever.
Jag tycker inte jag ska gå tillbaka till den skolan.
Nej.
Och jag tror det är bäst att ingen av er gör det. Jag ska ringa Maria och se om ni kan byta tillbaka.
Men vadå, jag vill inte sluta på Hillerska.
She struggles to get along with people because of Asperger's.
Det är ingen som tycker om mig när jag är mig själv.
Jag gillar dig när du är dig själv.
Nu gör du det igen. Försöker ta hand om mig.
Jag försöker bli din vän igen, för jag behöver dig.
I can understand this scene where you could unintentionally piss people off. You can offend people without even realizing it because you just don't have the ability to read a room and understand that there are some things you don't need to say. I can sympathize with that. But she becomes friends with Felice. Felice takes a liking to her. She understands that was part of her diagnosis, so she can be understanding of that situation. And they become friends.
Så bara till att inte rubs off.
Sara är inget freak. Okej att hon har sina diagnoser och så, men hon är fan den mest äkta här.
Vadå för diagnoser?
Typ Aspergers och någon ADHD-grej.
She even said that Sara is one of the most authentic people here.
Hej.
Kan jag komma in?
Vad vill du?
Jag vet att det var du som la ut videon.
She is the one to figure out that the person who leaked a sex tape with her brother is this dude.
Piensa en todo lo que él ha hecho por ti.
Som att träffa pappa bakom min rygg. Ska du förstöra mitt liv bara för att han håller på att förstöra sitt?
Men kan du sluta vara så jävla envis och fatta min situation? Hela jävla världen har sett mig i den där videon.
Very limited sympathy for her brother because, oh my god, you were the one who had sex and now I might have to transfer schools and be away from my new friends.
Då slipper ni mig. Det är i alla fall inte en börda för någon. Och så slipper jag bo i det här rucklet.
Vad säger du? Kan du chilla?
And I'll have to continue eating dinner with you guys when you put ketchup on your spaghetti.
Ja. Du kan få vad fan du vill. Vad drömmer du om?
Att vara som ni. Att bo på Hillerska. Ha ett liv här.
She does not want to be a non-resident. She wants to be an actual resident. She wants to go to school with all of the other people. She wants to fit in with them.
Jag fattar att du inte vill träffa mig, men när Simon började titta förbi så tänkte jag att vad fan, alla förtjänar en andra chans, eller hur?
Simon.
She wasn't thinking of, oh, well, I'm mad at my brother because he happened to speak to our dad without telling me, which she shouldn't be mad about that. Again, it seems like the only thing that the dad did wrong was be an addict And again, I don't want to downplay that at all, but people decide to rebuild relationships with their family members who are addicts all of the time. She doesn't know yet about the drug dealing. So if he just wanted to hang out, have some tea with his dad, they don't both have to commit to being estranged from their dad.
Jag tror inte hon är redo än.
It was the dad's fault for not realizing that. That wasn't Simon's fault, so.
Vad fan har du gjort, Simon? Du lovade.
That's silly. That's ridiculous. She's mad at Simon for having a sex tape leaked of him. 100% not his fault, when she should have been reassuring her brother. Instead, she got angry and annoyed with him because this means that they might have to switch schools.
Först försökte du hjälpa pappa, sen mig och nu Wilhelm. Du bara låter alla pissa på dig.
Jag pissar i alla fall inte på min familj, Sara.
So selfish. And in going to August, she's not thinking about her brother. She's also not thinking about Felice, the last person who dated August. If August is willing to do this to his own second cousin, who's going to be the next king of Sweden, what's to stop him from doing this to every other girl he's ever hooked up with? For all Sara knows, maybe he set up his phone right before Felice came over, and maybe he has some good blackmail material on Felice as well. Could have blackmail material on a lot of girls. He could do this to you. Who knows what he could do to you? He was willing to release revenge CP of his cousin, who is part of a very important family. They have connections to probably the best PIs in the country, probably the best lawyers in the country. If you cross these people, you're probably fucked. But if he crosses you... Okay, well, this is getting into like the legal system and stuff, and if you're Swedish, you can fill me in on how the legal system treats rich people versus poor people, but I'd say definitely here, if you are poor and you can't afford a good lawyer, you might not be able to afford to get justice for you if you have been wronged or if you've been falsely accused of something as well. Anyway, yeah, so selfish with absolutely no foresight whatsoever.
Det är inte så svårt att fixa. Du kan få en plats på Herrgården. Jag har den perfekta ner, så här tajta. Du kan få förtur och allting.
Jag har inte råd.
Sådana som dig får stipendium, det blir allting gratis. Jag hjälper dig med saken.
Why the hell couldn't she talk to anybody else about wanting to live at the school? Felice wanted her to stay. She said, oh, if you transfer schools, I'm going to kidnap you and make you stay. She could have helped you apply. She's also from an important family. Maybe she has connections too. Oh my goodness. Then after this, she gets into an argument with her mom because they want to have dinner casually and they don't want to dress up and be all fancy schmancy like they are at school.
Men vadå, ska vi äta här? Ja. Men kan vi inte äta vid matbordet?
Äta konsiaki.
So you may or may not already know I got slammed with a bunch of copyright claims for this video. Hence why all of the clips have filters on them. I hope it didn't distract from anything. So I need to break up this clip and I would like to draw your attention to Sara's facial expressions. She was giving her family the death stare again after Simon went through something so horrible. And the way that she's looking at her mom and at her brother is so much worse than how she looked at August.
Han skämmer ju ut hela kungahuset, för fan!
Det ger dig ingen rätt. Och Simon då? Han är ju helt förstörd.
Vad vill du ha då?
Yeah, she did call him out kind of like 2 minutes before she decided to make out with him. But then when she's interacting with her family, All of the anger that she should have shown towards August is being shown towards her brother and her mom, who just don't deserve it. Now I can play the rest of the clip about the linen napkins.
Kan vi inte köpa linneservetter?
And she has so much attitude, and she's mad at her mom for not divorcing their dad sooner. I've also resented my mom for having awful taste in men.
Hon har gjort allt för oss, så du bara pissar på henne sådär.
Nej!
Jo!
Nej! Om hon skulle gjort allt för oss så hade hon skyddat oss från pappa. Och hans sprit och hans droger.
Hon försökte ju.
Försökte räcker inte, Simon. Hon borde ha skilt sig från honom så fort allt började.
Men har hon inte haft någonstans att bo?
If the reason why they didn't get divorced sooner was because of monetary issues, it would be difficult to raise 2 children with one mother. I don't think that you should judge her as well for being too poor for things, which she has been doing this whole season. I know that in the event that people end up actually watching this video and getting this far, thank you if you did watch this video and you did get this far. People might cuss me out in the comments if they found themselves able to relate to Sara. If you do question why do I have sympathy for example for the dad and not so much for Sara.
Du tar inte själv.
Varför fan bryr du dig?
It comes down to motivations for me. Everybody does something wrong in this show. That's how TV shows work. That's how stories work. Everybody is flawed. They make mistakes. They make things more complicated. But what I'm interested in is what are their motivations for doing that? When it comes to Simon, he was not originally interested in providing alcohol for that party. He only did that so that Sara can come along. He wanted to show his mom that, hey, look, we're invited to a party. People like us. Even when it came to selling August the ADHD medication, he didn't want August to ask Sara to do that. So again, he was looking out for Sara. Was she looking out for her own brother during this? She decided to cover for the guy who released revenge porn of her brother. So that makes me very angry. When it comes to the dad is an addict. One can't simply just snap their fingers and stop being an addict. That doesn't absolve them of all of the pain they caused as a result of them being addicted. Absolutely not. I'm just saying I can sympathize with them because I understand that this is a very difficult and complex problem, and this isn't something that can be solved overnight. And he probably doesn't even know how to solve it.
Du kunde inte ens sluta missbruka för min och Saras skull. Du är så jävla patetisk.
When Simon called him out, he looked so ashamed of himself, and I really felt like if he knew how to get clean, if he knew how to be sober and reunite with his family, he would do that in a heartbeat. He just doesn't know how to, so that's why I felt sympathy for him.
Hon borde ha skilt sig från honom så fort allt började.
Men har hon inte haft någonstans att bo? Du måste försöka ge folk en chans.
Simon, man kan inte alltid ge alla en chans.
Again, I don't know how this whole drug addiction came about. Maybe he was already an addict when they first started dating. Or maybe, like I said, maybe he was a good dad. No addiction, no nothing. Then he got a back injury. Then he needed some painkillers. And then it just spiraled from there. What the hell was I saying? Well, this made me resent Sara even more because Simon was being so great about this. He's in a very difficult situation where he needed reassurance from her and not the other way around. But he knows how to talk to her and he's very sweet about it.
Jag kan inte se ut så här om du ser ut så där.
Jag ser dum ut.
Nej, det gör du inte. Jag ser dum ut.
Det är fint.
Du med.
Anyway, the thing about my fucking crown, I should just give up on this. I'm giving up on royalty. She said, oh, well, you trust all these people and they just end up pissing on you. The dad didn't do anything that bad this season other than he was too rough in this scene. The only person who he trusted when he should not have was August, which is exactly what Sara is doing right now, but she doesn't know about his dealings with August. She also mentions Wilhelm.
Ja, jag vill vara med dig. Du har fan rätt. De kan inte tvinga mig att göra uttalandet. Jag ska snacka med mamma. Jag måste förstå.
It was very hard for me to watch this scene because I knew when they were saying all of this that Wilhelm was going to be talked into doing whatever his mom wanted him to do. The show kind of bookends each other. It starts off with his mom talking him into going to boarding school. He protests at first. He's very upset, very angry about that, but then he follows a script. And again, he protests what his mom wants. He says that he's going to stand up for himself, but then he ends up not after this conversation.
Tänk om jag bara vill vara ihop med honom då? Inte säga någonting. Och leva normalt.
Du är kronprins.
He denies his relationship with Simon by saying that he wasn't in that video because he went to school to study and not get involved in emotional relationships. I'm like, just because they were caught having sex with each other, that didn't mean that they were in love. That could have just been a random hookup that wouldn't have detracted from his studies at all whatsoever. So I thought that was a very odd denouncement. My refrigerator turned on me. Can you hear that? Instead, the denouncement should have been, you know, that video that was released is CP, which is a major crime that we, the Crown, take very seriously. It's not just a crime to upload that onto the internet. It's also a crime to view it. Just keep that in mind as you view it and share it and comment on it with other people. I will say though that I really appreciate this conversation that happened after the video was released because it answered some of the questions that I had. Is it a problem that he's gay?
Kung Gustav den 17 och 18 samtidigt. Eller vadå? Vad ska man göra med en arvinge? De kan ju inte få barn. Men då var det skaffa en surrogatmamma. Alltså då måste de ju ha en sån här sjukt adlig surrogatmamma.
So, when it comes to the very unfortunate breakup.
Du måste ta reda på vad du vill. Och det får ta den tid det tar. Och jag respekterar det. Men du måste göra det själv.
Really wish it didn't happen, but I thought that it happened really well because I've mentioned before how much I hate the whole you must come out or I'm gonna break up with you kind of storyline where the person who is already out resents the other person who isn't out and who needs to take their time to come out. And it wasn't portrayed that way whatsoever. It wasn't like, oh, you have to come out to prove that you love me and I'm gonna see this as a personal attack if you're not ready to come out this instant. No, he's saying, I understand that you're not ready for that, but I don't want a secret relationship. That's completely valid. Also, I know that I was a little bit too critical of Ayub and Rosh earlier. I don't want you guys to go around thinking that I hate these characters or anything. And I really like how they supported Simon in this scene.
Jag skulle älska om du börjar med oss. Men varför ska du ta smällen för någonting de har gjort?
Exakt.
Ska de bara få fortsätta som vanligt? Och du slutar?
Fuck dem, man.
Det är din smäll då.
Ja.
Du kan inte lägga dig nu.
Ja, verkligen inte. Preach.
So, Sara was the first person to find out that August released a sex tape, and instead of going to the police, instead of going to her brother or anybody else, she goes to August because she wanted to act unbelievably selfishly, just so selfish, so selfish.
Stop playing detective. Let's watch a movie instead.
Jag försöker bara hitta någonting. Alltså vad som helst som gör att de kan ta fast den där personen som gjorde det. För att om allting lugnar ner sig så kanske Sara inte behöver bli tvingad till att lämna skolan. Och jag vill faktiskt hjälpa Wilhelm.
Then Felice finds out. And again, she doesn't go to the police first, which I think she should have. Instead, she goes to Wilhelm, which is much better than going to August first. So I like that. Felice, you're one of the good ones. I like you.
Vad ska jag säga då? Förlåt.
Du sa ju för fan att det var dig jag kunde gå till!
Lugn,
Om jag hade problem! Du sa att jag var bland gelikar! Det var ju det jag kunde lita på!
Wilhelm first confronts August. Again, doesn't go to the damn police with this discovery. First goes to August, then goes to talk to his mom, the queen. And what do you know? She's already found out. Because, like I said, she must have access to the best PIs in the country. They would have found that shit out pretty quickly.
Har du vetat det så länge? Varför har du inte sagt något?
Därför att jag visste hur du skulle reagera.
But even though she originally sent him away because she said that she wanted to protect him in a place where nothing like that would ever happen, she knows it was August. She doesn't care. She doesn't even ask for her money back. She should be asking the school for her money back because she is the reason why he's going to be able to graduate from that school.
Drottningen låter hälsa dig att familjen kommer först. Och rektorn är informerad så att det ska vara löst.
They just need to keep up appearances, protect the crown, not really give a damn that there's revenge CP just floating around on the internet.
Jag skyddar dig. Och jag skyddar familjen. Och jag skyddar kungahuset och vårt arv. Det är det enda som kan ge Erik stöd något som helst.
And yes, this was the correct response. Go off and hang up on your mommy. That is correct. Hopefully that will mean in season 2 he will rebel from her more. He will not just rebel and then read off the script that she gives him. He'll start writing his own script and conducting interviews without her or whatever, making public statements that she doesn't quite like. Who knows what will happen in season 2, but I guess we'll find out soon. And before you comment below and ask me, oh, will you make a video about season 2? I have to say that making these videos are time consuming, and if the comment section just looks like tumbleweed, maybe I might not be able to invest all of that time. Yes, I care about views, I care about likes and subscriptions. It helps the algorithm, but I don't just care about the algorithm, I care about comments. And I know that comments feed the algorithm, but for some reason, whenever people write long, in-depth comments, as in my favorite type of comments, they always feel like they need to apologize. And I'm like, no, I like having a discussion with you guys. That's why I make the damn video. So if I make the video and nobody responds, then I might not make another video. But if I make a video and a lot of people have really interesting things to say and we can bounce ideas off each other, have a good discussion in the comments, then I might feel more motivated to make another video. That said, in November when season 2 comes out, I will be busy because, you know, the end of the semester. And so it might take me a minute, but maybe I'll make another video about season 2 and maybe this guy will go off to jail, hopefully. If you don't know what to comment, what is the punishment for this crime in your country?
Dödsstraff. Ja, eller nej. Ja, säger vi.
Because I think over here that would put him on the sex offender registry for life. Or even you can tell me, what do you think of the monarchy? I saw a lot of discussion about that recently. As I'm filming this, Queen Elizabeth just died like 5 minutes ago. Not literally 5 minutes ago, but you know what I mean. So I see a lot of discussion about the monarchy in the modern era. The idea of some people just being born special, chosen by God to lead a country. What do you think about that?